2024 Huntsman World Masters, given that world title. There were some 30 sports and some 12,000 competitors, and this is Kyle Case, head of the Huntsman, talking about some of the sports.
Bowling, pickleball again, ping pong, surfing, race walking, tennis, dancing, all kinds of good stuff. Fantastic. Once again, this is what brings us together. All of our differences, and yet we still come together in one place at one time to celebrate and be together.
This is the 2024 Huntsman Swimming, a great event. And again, it's known as the World Championships. And all the different swimming events are here represented at the Huntsman. Of course, that's the butterfly and the breaststroke, freestyle, and backstroke. Some of them do all four of the strokes, the IMs. A great facility and a great representation.
First of all, let me introduce you to the 2024 Huntsman World Championships. Obviously, you can see we're in swimming. And give me your name. Give me your full name.
Karlyn Pipes.
Karlyn Pipes. She is amazing, which you're going to hear about right now. John, I don't know how many, you have more world records than any other master athlete in history, if I didn't.
Second number.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, there's an incredible athlete about 10 years older named Laura Val, and she is breaking barriers like crazy.
That's amazing. Well, tell us your story, how you feel you'd want to tell it, about how you've maintained fitness, how you've gone through issues in life.
Well, so I'll backtrack pretty far. So I was one of 5 kids. My dad was a practicing alcoholic, and my mom was in survival mode. And when I was very young, I got swimming lessons. And as soon as I saw that appreciation, acceptance, approval that I got from my swimming instructors, I knew that that was the sport that I wanted to do, right? Because that's where everything that I needed was fulfilled. And then it turns out I was actually pretty good at it. And started
real good.
Well, you know, it kind of comes in fits and starts. It depends, right? When you first start out, if you're in a small town and you're the fastest swimmer, it's kind of one thing. But when you move to a bigger town, you become the little fish in the big pond instead of the big fish in the little pond. But I seem to always thrive when I was faced with a challenge. And so anyway, my swimming was pretty good all throughout high school, and I was offered 15 full scholarship offers.
Wow.
But at that same time, I had also experienced my first alcoholic buzz and had my first boyfriend. And between those two things, I pretty much chose, well, let's just say, out of all those 15 full scholarship offers, I chose the University of Arkansas. Not known for a swimming school, but had a really cute guy that went there.
Okay.
Anyway, I dropped out about a year and a half later, mostly because of my alcoholism at the time, or alcohol abuse. And I also was a full-blown bulimic. So in the 70s and 80s, there were weigh-ins for most college swimming programs. And so if you weren't at a certain weight, you were kind of penalized. So most of the people on our team back then were bulimic. And then you'd go out and party. So it was kind of a vicious cycle, you know. The two addictions really run concurrent because the bulimia is a way to control, and then the alcohol was a way to lose control. So they're like two sides of the coin. So it wasn't until I kind of muddied through my 20s that I got sober at age 31. At the time of my induction into the rehab, I was drinking a liter of vodka a day and waiting to die, basically.
Wow.
I was powerless to stop what I was doing. And, you know, you see those old movies where they're talking about, you know, the train is headed down the tracks and the bridge is out. Well, I was on that train, the bridge was out, and I was powerless to get off of it. And that's really the amazing thing, is because you know your fate is not going to turn out well, and but I was powerless to stop it. And then my mom, who used to attend this meet Oh man, she probably came to it 10 or 15 years. She still has records on the books, Adrian Pipes.
Unbelievable.
She intervened and I went into rehab and I came out sober and with this amazing appreciation for the life that I almost tossed away.
Yes.
You know, and one of the big parts of that was, you know, discovering a higher power, to find God, that this is something that I could not have done without that support. And that was 33 years ago, 32 years ago.
That sounds.
Yeah. So the interesting thing was, is when I got sober, I kind of had this love-hate relationship with water. Because at one hand, it was what thrilled me and excited me, but it also was something that I dreaded and hated.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult. So when I got back in the water after rehab, I had to make peace with the water and not expect anything from it other than it was a sport that I did that made me feel good.
Yes.
And so I entered back into the water, and well, the rest is kind of aquatic history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Records are like
Yeah.
crazy. You're naturally gifted. God gave you a gift.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And you know, the neat thing is the journey in sobriety has been really interesting because I've had ups and downs there too, where setting over 200 Masters World Records became another addiction. So the only way to deal with that addiction was to step off the blocks and not compete and just see what would happen when there wasn't any reward or a title associated with it. And what was really neat was when I did that about 10 years ago, I actually swam more often and enjoyed myself more, and it was okay being me, because at that time what I discovered was how much I love to teach other people.
Isn't that so?
Yeah.
That is so.
Is like great to have the gift to actually go to break these records, but can you help other people reach their own personal bests and their own success? And that has been really, really super rewarding for me to do. I was just speaking with Daniela Barnay in the locker room. She's 80. She just swam a minute 55 for a 100-meter butterfly.
Wow.
And she took one of my clinics. And she demonstrated what I taught her like 5 years ago.
That is great.
And so it's pretty cool when you get these little nuggets, right?
Yeah.
I like to call them God shots, because that just reminds you that you're on purpose,
Yeah.
and your path is a good path, right?
God's got a sovereign plan.
Exactly.
That's so wonderful. And your spiritual walk, has it just continued to grow over the years?
It's had bumps and ups and downs, as it all, you know. And I think one of the things that my husband and I, you know, realize is that when we kind of, well, in AA we talk about self-will running riot. When the self is in charge, as opposed to your higher power, things don't usually go very well. So letting go and letting God is always a definite, like a mantra that needs to be repeated over and over and over again.
Right.
But I know that it's very interesting, because I had a first marriage and that ended very amicably, and then I met Christopher, and I've been traveling the world looking for Mr. Right. And you know where Mr. Right ended up? As my tenant downstairs.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, God has a way of doing that. He brought my wife and I together after 30-some years. We were in Grace Community Church together. My best friend was killed in Vietnam. I put his picture on Memorial Day.
It was in California.
And they saw the ad. My daughters got me on Facebook because I didn't even know anything about it. And sure enough, after 30-some years, she responded. I went to see her, and the rest is
The
history.
rest is history.
So, she wasn't a tenant, but you know.
She's close, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty.
exciting.
It's pretty amazing. And you know the interesting thing that people don't understand about being in the grips of alcoholism or any addiction is it's really the devil reaching up and pulling you down. And first of all, you have to recognize that that's what's happening. And the only way to unlock that grip is to just stop, right?
Yeah.
Stop feeding the devil with whatever it is that you're doing, and have that awareness that there's a better life for you without whatever. And the other, people, there's so much addiction in this world. I mean, you can have an addiction to gambling, sex, shopping, but you probably could have an addiction to AA or religion, right? Like, right, I'm going to go 5 days a week, but if 2 days a week that you're not in church, you're not a very good person, that's not resonating, right?
Right.
So I think decriminalizing addiction and just recognizing that as our human nature is to reach towards things that make us feel good and instant gratification, and to just say, okay, I am that, I need help, and just to not knock yourself down. You know, it's just the way that we are. We're wired, you know.
And we're in a spiritual warfare, and the enemy is so deceptive and so powerful that he gives us these mental, thoughts that take us down the wrong trail. And
Right.
you've got to turn to God and turn to your faith sometimes to just get through those things.
Absolutely. The water is such a wonderful place because we came from water, right? And so that's why I think as far as swimming, it's such a wonderful sport. And I also, I know that I feel ageless in the water, and that there's some, there's 100-year-old lady, Betty here, she dives off the blocks. She doesn't feel 100. Right? So the only person that's judging you is maybe you're judging your time, but the water's not judging you. So it's ultimate acceptance right there, and it's such a beautiful sport. I'm so grateful for organizers like the Huntsman Games, because without somebody in charge of organizing events like that they've been doing since the mid 70s, we would just be either a bunch of lap swimmers or golfers.
Well, that's so exciting. I mean, when you set 200 Masters records, I don't think people can fathom that. I can't. It's unbelievable. But you have gone through the different phases of life that God has brought you through, so that you can be an inspiration to those that are caught in those.
Yeah.
People that are watching this may be in the middle of what you were in before and need that encouragement to get through it.
Exactly. And you can't do it alone. That's the thing. At first it's an inside job. You have to say to yourself, am I leading my best life? And if there are things in your life that are holding you back from that, that's pretty much an obvious thing as far as what needs to be examined. And then, take the hook out of your mouth. You're not a bad person just because there's an addiction or addiction tendency in your life. It can be removed. God can take it away. And that's the neat thing about it is, but people keep things a secret.
Yeah.
And addictions flourish in secrecy.
Yeah.
So you're hiding but you can't hide from God, right?
No.
You can't hide from God. So ultimately, you're already been caught, but God doesn't say you're a bad person.
Yeah.
He just says, get some help.
Yeah. And your openness and transparency is so inspiring.
Thank you.
That I think it'll have just a great impact just on everybody that watches this video.
Thank you. Well, the thing is every day that we wake up and our eyes open up and we're still alive, we have an opportunity for a do-over. and that's my book. It's called The Do-Over, My Journey from the Depths of Addiction to World Champion Swimmer. And, it's another gift. Every day is a gift. And so you get to choose how you use that gift.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, tomorrow when you wake up, there's another do-over and another do-over.
Yeah.
And you can do that in a swim race, you can do that in life, you can do that in just about everything. So don't give up.
Great.
Yeah, do it. If you don't like what you're doing, do it over.
Yes. Oh, God, I love what you're saying. Anything you feel like you'd like to say to that person watching this video? Discouraged? Frustrated?
I think the hardest thing is when you are in an addiction is the self-loathing. And people find that difficult to believe because most of the time you see on exterior somebody that's successful, somebody that looks like they have it all together, but inside they're just rancid, right? And they hate themselves. So you've got to find the love of God to find that piece that you're missing to help you move past that. Because the self-loathing will just keep you repeating the same habits and the patterns that are making you sick and keeping you as sick as your secrets. So talk to somebody, listen to things online. Listen to an AA meeting online just to hear. I mean, the blue book, the big book of AA is phenomenal, and it's all about God. Yeah. It's all about God, and there's also a chapter to the agnostic and the atheist. But you can find something and then get help. Share your secret, and when you share your secret one time, then it's going to be easier to share it with another, and then you get in with a whole group of people that have the same kind of secrets, then you start laughing about how crazy your life was. So don't wait until it's too late to just reach out to just one person and share your secret, and you'll feel immediate relief. It's kind of like you've recognized that there's a wound on your body. It needs treatment, it needs healing. But until you recognize that that wound is there, nothing's ever going to get done. And there is no shame in saying that you have an addiction. There's no shame. Just think, we're all walking around wounded.
Yes.
So, but who's walking a path, a spiritual path or otherwise, that's seeking treatment, right?
Yes.
Right?
Well, you can tell you would be an incredible inspiration and coach, and you have classes. Tell us about how people can learn about your classes.
Oh, cool.
Hey, tell us about that.
So, because I love to teach so much, I've invented a stroke called Faster Freestyle. And along with my husband, Christopher, we have established these week-long swim camps. And they are focused around swimming in beautiful open water swimming. And along the way, we work on your technique, and then we throw some interesting, fun things in there as far as, learning self-discovery and empowerment. And we offer them in Hawaii, Mexico, Sicily, Fiji, British Columbia.
How do they get?
Oh, KarlynPipes.com. So my name, KarlynPipes.com.
KARLYN.
And if you just Google my name, as I mentioned before,
there's lots of stuff.
There's lots of stuff there, and you'll pretty much find. And then there's also articles and videos and things like that help people. But what's really neat is, I do a lot of private one-on-one lessons, and those are an hour or 2 hours long. The neat thing about the camp experience is we have a chance to form a community over the week period while we just really get to enjoy beautiful water and camaraderie, and then get in touch with the communities that we visit. So that's it's just really amazing. It's not just a regular vacation.
No.
You swim, you get faster, you have more fun, you make new friends, and you come back changed.
Hopefully a little more tuned into God.
Exactly. Well, we do a little prayer before we swim.
I love it.
And it's really kind of nice to connect, and that embryonic feeling of getting back in the water and getting in touch with yourself. And then no judgment, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
That is so exciting.
What's really neat is when people Google me, a whole bunch of records come up, but not a single police record. Oh, come on. When you live that life, it's
Come on.
I'm serious. I used to drive home. I used to drive, with one hand over my eye.
So you can focus.
Because I was so drunk. I couldn't see. Yeah, I remember I had a 1965 Pontiac Catalina, and I would drive. And then luckily I knew all the police, so if I got pulled over, I could get off. But thank God I never killed anybody.
Yes.
Or that's there for the grace of God, right?
Isn't that true? That is so important to get that message to people out there that are hurting, and they just can't seem to find the answer. Any last thing you want to say? You've just been
come to the Huntsman games. You're going to enjoy a beautiful pool. Doesn't it look inviting?
Yeah,
Like you could be swimming here. All ages, all walks of life. Yeah, and come see me again.
Yes. Yeah. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope my microphone was turned okay.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We want to thank you for watching RedefiningAging.us. I'm John Disterdick, your host. And our goal for the series is pretty simple. We just want to enhance the quality of people's lives. So if you know of an event that you think would be one for good for us to cover, please fill out the form on our website, and not only the event and what it is, where it is, when it is, and if there's a person you know that you think would be a good person for us to do a testimony on in some event, please let us know. And if you want a fuller description of my testimony, you can either go to johndisterdick.com and look under ministry, or you can go here at redefiningaging.us. We appreciate your viewership. God bless, and hope to see you on more shows.